Animorphs fans, and welcome back to the Animorphs universe. And we're doing an AniLysis today, number 96, on the pretty woman in the bikini. Now, where is she from? She's from this book, Book 12, The Reaction, if you didn't already know. So, Adobe Firefly created this image of this beautiful woman sitting in a deck chair on a yacht. Or its best attempt at a yacht, the deck of a yacht. So, she comes from Book 12, and she's on the yacht called Daybreeze. Here is the quote that introduces us to her. "I see the boat clearly now," Axe announced. He didn't complain, but he sounded tired. "I can read the name Daybreeze very clearly. There are now 4 humans on the deck. 2 older males, 1 female of medium age, 1 juvenile male. The Animorphs have gone out to sea to spy on Jeremy Jason McCall, and they tracked him down to this yacht that's trundling about in the ocean called Daybreeze. And they spot 4 people on board. Now, as far as we know, these are the only 4 people on board. There's nobody below deck. There might be, but these are the only 4 people that we actively see. So it's 2 older blokes, 1, in Axe's words, medium age woman, female, and 1 juvenile male. So let's take a closer look at that crew, shall we? And that's where we'll be introduced to the pretty woman in the bikini. The yacht was very large. I don't know how big, but it was big enough that the 4 people lounging on the aft deck could have played a game of volleyball if they had wanted to. I mean, this was not some little motorboat. Cassie and I moved behind the boat. Below us, propellers were churning the sea turquoise and white. Just ahead, we could clearly see the 4 people. 1 was the movie producer, wearing shorts and an open shirt. I'd seen him on CNN. 1 was a man who stood with his back to us. The 3rd person was a woman in a bikini. She was young and pretty. And the 4th person... Yes! There was no mistaking that hair, that face, those lips. "It's him," Cassie said. "Oh yes," I agreed. Jeremy Jason McCall, star of Powerhouse. At least he was the star if you forgot about that comedian guy who played his father. So it all seems okay at first. She's described as a pretty woman in a bikini, hence why she is the pretty woman in the bikini. But she's one of these 4 people. She's lounging in a desk chair on the aft of this yacht. And we figure out very soon that there are yerk activities afoot. So let's take a look at that quote. Then the other man, the one who had been standing with his back to us, stepped forward. He barely flicked a finger, and the producer backed away. The woman in the bikini narrowed her eyes and seemed to shrink down in her chair. "Let's stop wasting time," the man said. "We've been talking yesterday. Better things to do. I can give you thing you want. Everything. Money. Power. But first you have to agree to them. They are simple. You become one of us, and then you take on this, representing the sharing, in exchange. Anything and everything your heart desires." Jeremy Jason sat silently while the man spoke. The man scared him. That was obvious. When Jeremy Jason did speak, it was in a low, strained voice. "And if I say no?" "You won't say no," the man said. He turned then, and I saw his face. I saw an icy smile and cold, dead eyes. I had seen him before, just briefly, but once was enough. "Visser 3, Cassie hissed. "Visser 3's on board this yacht." And how do the other people react to him being there? Well, it's pretty certain that the main players here are Visser 3 in this human morph and Jeremy Jason McCall. And Visser is sort of offering a deal, but also it's a threat. So it's effectively bribery. But the other 2 people on board this vessel are the producer, who worked at CNN, and this young woman in the bikini. What is their purpose? Because we certainly don't see this woman again. What should we call her? Charlene. Let's call her Charlene. We never see Charlene again. This is her only appearance on this yacht. And she's clearly there for some form of purpose, but it's not given to us. So we can only really speculate at why she's there. But it's pretty obvious that she is a Yeerk. She's a controller, because when Visser 3 turns around, she sort of shrinks back into a chair and, you know, she's afraid of him. And the people who are afraid of him are either people that know he's a controller, an evil bloke, or they are a controller. Jeremy Jason is scared of him because he's basically being threatened. He's out here on this boat, on this yacht, being threatened. Being told, you will do this or bad things happen. It'd be a shame if your haircut were to set suddenly on fire. And just in case we were skeptical about whether this woman was actually a controller, the mere fact that Visser 3 morphs in front of her on this yacht should be a clear giveaway. Jake, look! Marco yelled. That man on the boat! He's morphing! I swear he's turning into an Andalite. Oh man, him! So yeah, I'm 99% certain that the pretty woman in the bikini, Charlene, is indeed a controller. So why is she there? What's her purpose? Why are we doing an analysis on her? Well, she was mentioned a couple of times, and yeah, it does seem like she has some sort of purpose, and I think I know what the purpose is. So, you know, Jeremy Jason, bit of a go-getter, and what happens when you get a bit of a go-getter and you put that in front of him? It's very easy to convince blokes to do things, and that's one of the ways you do it. You've also got the movie producer there, which is another form of temptation, you know, money and success and fame and all that, but then you've also got Charlene over here being the eye candy. She's clearly in some way or another part of this deal that he's getting from Visser 3. She's his... what's the word? She's his female. Yeah, I think that's her entire purpose. Charlene, you are just bait for Jeremy Jason McCall. And you've done a cracking job of it. You know, you went on this yacht thing with him. And... well, yeah, that was it. That's all you did. So... it's going to be a short analysis today, isn't it? No, we never see her again. And we probably won't ever, because at the end of the book, Jeremy Jason runs off to... well, he just disappears. Probably ends up in Mongolia or somewhere like that. In fact, is it mentioned? Uzbekistan. Well, it's actually quite close to Mongolia, to be fair. Did she run off to Uzbekistan with him? Absolutely, certainly, most definitely not. She just went on being a controller... lovely lady. She's of complete irrelevance, basically. But you know what? It's a pleasure to have you in this series. In fact, I'm going to go so far as to say you're one of the most important characters in this series, Charlene. And might I say that is a smashing blouse you've got on. I know it's a bikini, but just... it's so hard to talk to women. I don't even freaking know how I got married. I don't know if must have won a bet or something. Or lost one. Anyway, that is the pretty woman in the bikini. Named now Charlene. And let's look at what the next analysis is going to be, and that will be number 97. We get so close to 100 now. It better be a big one, but until then, let's have a few small ones as we build up to it. What's next in analysis? So here we are with the spin the wheel. We're still dealing with stuff between the books 1 and 28 and the extra books in between. So we can have anything from the jockey to the Cinnabon manager or Axe's scoop. So what's it going to be? Spin the wheel, please. And spin, spin, spin. Have a drink. What's it going to be, Charlene? The Mountain Taxon Rebels. Believe they're from the Endlight Chronicles. And it's not going to be a small one, so I'm going to have to spend a bit of time on this. But yeah, that's what's next. The Mountain Taxon Rebels. So stay tuned for that one, and I shall see you for it somewhere else in the Animorphs universe. Ta-ra!